Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you so much for that warm introduction. So I'm guessing everyone's happy because we just had crinkles before this. And to emphasize on what Vishant said, he said that this is our planet, it's one planet, and hopefully we'll be here for another 15 years. I think we're all young, so I hope longer. So I hope we are here all much longer, and we can sustain the lifestyles that we want to lead. So as introduced, I'm a youth project designer, and I work to primarily make youth key stakeholders in ADB projects, not only beneficiaries, but stakeholders. And we do this in different ways, and one way we do this is engaging with partners and engaging with youth organizations in specific sectors. So today I am here to share the work of the Water Youth Network, a key partner of ADB Youth for Asia. What is the Water Youth Network? It's a global, inclusive community of young students and professionals across the world in the water sector. They bring academia, civil society, governments, young professionals, and students together who are committed to making the water sector a better place. So, before I move on, I'd like to show you all a video that will give you a glimpse into the energy, enthusiasm of young water professionals.
About this bunch of young, super excited people that were wanting to do something towards water, and I always feel like I want to do something, and I bet most of the young people feel the same. Like I want to do something, I want to be part of the change, but I don't really know how.
Young people are the future leaders of tomorrow, the future policymakers, the future engineers. So if you don't involve them from now, then whatever is built today will not be sustainable because it won't pass through the next generation.
So the Water Youth Network is a group of young people from around the world who are very enthusiastic about solving the water issues of the world. And how we're doing is we're trying to encourage sharing of innovative practices so that whatever a young person is doing in one part of the world can be accessible to someone who's living in another part of the world, and if that person wants to initiate similar activity or initiative in their home country.
Originally, I work for the water utility company in my country. So water is something I'm very much interested in. When I heard that there is a network that is actually fighting to getting youth's voice heard, and I said, oh, this is where I need to be.
Youth is treated sometimes as someone to be just there at meetings and discussions. But as Water Youth Network, what we're trying to do is that we really want to be engaged in the real processes that are taking place.
When you see that there's like young people getting together to do something, you don't feel alone anymore. You feel like there's somebody backing you up and somebody, I don't know, empowering you to make that change.
For events like this, like the Stockholm World Water Week, we're all here and we're conducting a session on the key challenges that are faced by young people in the water sector.
2 years ago, it was really difficult for us to enter international platform. We really had to ask for it and lobby for it. And now I have the feeling that when we put the first foot inside the door and ask, hey, can we be inside your organization or can we be inside of your initiative? People just feel somehow obligated to say yes, and they like to involve young people.
We're really engaging young people through social media. We're blogging about the events and the sessions that are taking place so that people who are not able to join us here are still able to learn from this huge event that is taking place. So the Global Water Partnership Youth Engagement Strategy, I think, is a very good first step for ensuring youth participation. We were involved and we were consulted for our input and feedback for the strategy, and we were very happy to do that. At the same point, we really think it's a first step. The next step is to really ensure that institutions and senior professionals really take this strategy as a good reference document to ensure that we are involved in the implementation. Because you can create strategies, but if those are not taken seriously and are not implemented, then I don't feel there is any use of it. I personally like the approach that the Global Water Partnership strategy has taken, and that is with the youth, for the youth, and by the youth. And which means that we have created this strategy along with Global Water Partnership, but we will really help them in implementing it as well, because this is for us, this is for youth all over the world.
Great. So the video was just to show the energy and enthusiasm of young people. Just like you guys here, there are people there trying to do some change in the water sector. As you could hear or you could see, some of them said, I just know I want to do something. I'm not sure exactly how, but I know I want to do something. And that's the first step for all of you sitting here as well. It's enough to know that you care, and then you can find a way. If the intention is there, the desire is there, we can definitely find the path. And another thing pointed out in the video, which is of relevance and which I think is important, is that we are the future policymakers. We are the future decision makers. But if the agenda is not going to pass through us, if we don't know what is happening in terms of strategy, goals, and policy now, how are we going to be able to influence this? And how is that going to lead to a sustainable future? We have to be part of the conversation and dialogue today. And that's why the vision resonates, a world where young people work together to become agents of change and ultimately improve the world's water situation. These three features being the three key values of the Water Youth Network: connecting, empowering, and change-making. And how do they do this? They do this through 4 priority areas. They connect. So one, they bring people like us together. We have someone with over 25 years of experience in the environment sector. We have someone with 2 years of experience. We have young people who are probably studying. They bring these people together. They create continuity. They do that through an innovative sharing practices platform. They push the knowledge envelope. They're doing this through an online virtual space platform that I will talk about later. And they're facilitating meaningful youth participation. That is what we care about most. Work at the grassroots level. They're going out in the communities, talking to people. So what are the key achievements of this organization? They created an online platform which facilitates interaction between young people. This is an interactive, virtual, collaborative space that they have created, which maps out the various youth organizations as well as youth projects across the world. They've facilitated many global events, like the Singapore International Water Week or the Stockholm International Water Week. Sometimes it's difficult to quantify the relevance of events, but it is these events that facilitate policy advocacy and awareness. Having youth panel discussions, having youth seats, having youth voices does impact, because we are sharing knowledge at a global forum, at an international level. They've contributed to a range of initiatives and projects, which I'll touch upon later, and they stimulated cooperation between international youth organizations. One of them being ours, ADB Youth for Asia. And we're able to present their work today thanks to this collaboration. Now I'm going to touch upon the project aspect of it. ADB's pilot demonstration activity in the water sector. Many might not know, but ADB also functions as a pilot demonstration activity where it is able to give out funds to small-scale institutions. They can be NGOs or it can be formalized institutions or networks to provide innovative solutions, small-scale, low-cost solutions up to $50,000 with an implementation period of up to 1 to 12 months, which are replicable and scalable. And they do this through a participatory approach. And that's where organizations like the Water Youth Network play importance. Thanks to a PDA that the Asian Development Bank proposed, the Water Youth Network got access to funds and is today able to test its tools within the water sector in projects in Vietnam. So there are different mechanisms, there are different frameworks that exist at different levels within organizations like these that the youth can tap into. It's just about us finding out, exploring, and seeing where we can contribute. These are the 3 key pillars or the 3 key aspects that the PDA covers, which the Water Youth Network is dealing with. Policy advocacy and awareness. Young professionals and students present case studies at platforms like the Asia Irrigation Forum, the Singapore International Water Week, and the Stockholm World Water Week. They're supporting ADB projects in Vietnam by doing stakeholder analysis and stakeholder assessments and sharing knowledge. And they're doing knowledge management and capacity building through an online platform. And what is the key objective of the Water Youth Network? To build a guidance note on how participation of the youth can be mainstreamed into ADB's water sector. So next time, whenever ADB invests in a water project, they have a ready-made tool to see how the youth can contribute. And that is going to be the primary focus of this PDA. These are some of the events where the Water Youth Network has done very interesting sessions. in the World Water Forum, the upcoming World Water Forum, they're going to do an interactive gaming session. This is what the youth can do. They've created an online gaming platform with tablets where people can interact with each other at the section and break down all barriers of communication, where people solve problems on integrated water resource management or groundwater irrigation real time. And there are no barriers to communication thanks to technology. At the Singapore International Water Week, there was a focus on innovation and technology, and there was a mapping exercise where they mapped out innovations across the globe together from all the countries that were represented there. And at the Stockholm Water Week, they're going to do a structured debate and session around jobs and sustainable development, and how the water sector can also prove to be a lucrative career for many. And last, I would like to end with the online platform that the Water Youth Network wants to launch soon. It's going to be launching in the next month. And it's quite revolutionary because it's going to be a map with droplets of water all across. And as you put your cursor over the droplet of water, you will see a youth organization that is contributing to the water sector with its coordinates, with its details, with a point of contact, and the project that it's involved in. They're going to do this across the Asia Pacific, across Europe, and this is almost done. It's almost in its draft stage, and the website is going to be released next month. And this is quite revolutionary in terms of knowledge sharing, because it's going to do two things. It's going to deepen both the quality as well as the quantity of engagement in this sector. And things like mentorship and guidance are going to become much easier because we're going to be able to connect with partners. And this is something that's going to be a knowledge product of the PDA. So this is what the Water Youth Network is doing. My question to you is, what can you do? You can do something as well. You can contribute. I was part of a very stimulating action session in the health group where someone explained to me or shared with me their knowledge on how there are so many problems in relation to water after a disaster, and had some innovative solutions. Maybe a quick way for you to is join the network and share your problem on the blog. There are simple solutions and there are simple ways in which we can contribute. Don't think your contribution is too small.